Hi, everybody. It's Christy Maxfield with Purpose First Advisors. Thank you for choosing to watch this tutorial. I am super excited about helping business owners build businesses that can do more than just replace a paycheck. I've also built this template to help us think through this in a little bit more detail. I'd like to walk you through it. We're going to start by understanding our assumptions. In this example, I'm modeling a business that we're going to assume is a US-based consulting or other professional services firm, that it's a single member LLC, the owner's taking draws, that there's an estimated tax rate of 28% for state, federal, local taxes. This is not particular to your situation. It does not reflect your particular obligations. I am not a tax advisor, and this is not tax advice. You'll have no employees in this scenario, but I am assuming that the business has contractors. And we want to remember that owner's draws are not expenses. Therefore, they don't reduce net income and they don't reduce taxable income. With that in mind, let's get started. So let's assume that you've spent some time thinking about what you want your paycheck equivalent to be. I think of this as the money that you're going to put in your bank account to pay your day-to-day bills, do your thing on a day-to-day basis, live the life you love. Let's assume to live the life you love, you want to take home $100,000 annually. And let's also assume that you want to save $25,000. We'll come back to what is another obligation of an owner, the obligation to pay yourself, the obligation to save some money, and the obligation to pay taxes. We'll come back to that last one in just a second. First, let's think about what it might take to run this business. Let's assume it takes $20,000 to run the business of the business in general operating expenses. Let's also assume those contractors you're working with are another $20,000, and that you have administrative support like a virtual assistant who's helping you run your operations. Since this is a service-based business, we're going to assume there's no raw materials or other costs of goods sold that we have to factor in. So it's going to cost almost $50,000 to run the business annually. We now know that in order to run the business, pay the owner, and contribute to owner savings, we need revenue of at least $174,000, but we also know that that's not enough. So what might our revenue goal need to be to meet our goals? If we were to assume it was $200,000, we'd be close, but we'd still be short. We'd be short over $16,000. And that's not how we want to run our business. So instead, we're going to consider a different revenue goal, perhaps $250,000, in which case we could meet our take-home goal, our savings goal, and our income tax obligation. We could have the money we need to run the business, and we can have almost $20,000 left over in order to reinvest into the company, build a reserve, or take as additional compensation. We can test these assumptions by looking at a profit and loss statement as well. So let's plug those in. We can have sales of $250,000. We've assumed our cost of goods sold is $29,000. And that our expenses are another 20, so that we can anticipate net income of just over $200,000. From that net income, we know that you as the owner want to take $100,000 in compensation, put $25,000 towards savings, and meet your tax goal, or I should say obligation, of just over $56,000, which means that after all those obligations and requirements are met, there would be nearly $20,000 in profit left over. Now, of course, this exercise does not take us the next step further. What it does is help us understand what our revenue goal may need to be in order to meet the other goals we have for our business. The goals we have in terms of what it takes to run the business, the expenses we need to invest in order to generate the revenue we want to generate, the take home we want to bring into our family so that we can do what we want to make our world a better place. So take care of ourselves, take care of our family, take care of our community, to meet our savings goals and to meet our tax obligations. The next step would be to translate this revenue goal, this $250,000 revenue goal, into a revenue plan by really identifying the mix of clients and products and services to understand which clients are going to renew, who might upgrade, who might need to be replaced, to understand our strategy for acquiring new clients, as well as what we plan to spend on those strategies, and for us to really understand our pricing so we can understand whether or not we are receiving the highest possible value for the value we are providing our clients. That's a whole nother step in the process, one that I am equally excited about doing with you. But I wanted to really get you excited and interested in exploring how your business can help you do more than replace your paycheck, how your business can help you live the life you love. And I hope that that's what this has done for you today. If you'd like to explore this further, if you have some questions, if you're really interested and just want to talk numbers, I'd love to connect with you. So please schedule some time and let's get to know one another.